The APA Policy Conference is really important to me because I work for an agency that is federally funded. So coming to this conference is a good way for me to keep in front of issues that impact my housing authority pretty directly, as well as it allows me the opportunity to find out about hot trends happening in DC that will eventually come down to the local level.
You know, the kinds of discussions that occur today in our world with issues of a global nature, broad issues like climate change, housing affordability, development matters that affect everyone. It's imperative really that we understand what the policy issues are from a national perspective, be fresh and current on those issues, but not just understand what's being discussed in the sort of national policy level, but contribute to that policy making as well. All of those things are, very important reasons to attend the APA's policy conference.
I always look at the Advocacy and Policy Conference in the fall as something to look forward to because we bring all the experts who, being Alaska, it's so hard sometimes to get the hands-on experience with some of the federal components, and really having those experts in these rooms where we can have the one-on-one dialogue with them, it really helps to better understand transportation issues, HUD issues, funding issues. There were some things that I hadn't even understood until I had the opportunity to speak to somebody during the fall conference.
As a planner, everything we do centers around policy, whether it be state policy, federal policy. Of course, we all deal in local policy, but federal policy and federal funding decisions drive what we do at home. So coming to Washington, D.C. and participating in this policy conference that APA puts on is extremely important so that our leaders in Washington know what planning's about, what we bring to the table, and also what solutions we can bring for things like economic challenges, housing, transportation. These are things that our leaders need to hear, and who better to hear it from than planners themselves.
I work in current planning, and so I'm just reviewing applications all the time. I'm taking phone calls and complaints usually from residents and citizens, so I don't get really to work on anything on a federal level in my job. It's all local. So coming to the policy conference is like the only chance I get to really have any kind of hands-on experience with what's going on a federal level.
The APA Policy and Advocacy Conference has been something I've never missed for the last several years. For two reasons. Both the policy part of it is a way for planners to check in and to see what's going on at the federal level, to go face to face with some of the administrators. Once in a while we'll see some of the really important people on Capitol Hill, but we get to bring that message back to our local communities.
Planners Day is important because it's one of the few opportunities that planners working in local communities have to tell their stories directly to folks making federal policy. It's a chance to link abstract federal policy ideas and programs to real people's lives and what's happening back in their states, back in their district. It's a platform for APA. It allows members of Congress to know that APA has ideas for improving programs, and really gives a platform both for our members and the organization to be more prominent, to gain influence, and importantly, I think, to build a relationship. Because at the core of this, it's an opportunity for members to establish a relationship with the congressional office that will benefit them well beyond the work that they do on behalf of APA, but in the work that they do every day back home.
I really enjoy Planners Day on the Hill because it gives me the opportunity to meet with legislative staff from my home district that I don't always get a chance to see, as well as APA really does provide some great talking points, and it really gives us a key to have those conversations. And when I get back home, it gives me the tools I need to follow up with state legislators, because I can use those same talking points, because it's pretty much the same issues.
Hitting the Hill on Tuesday is a big part of it all. You know, I live in a small state, have a small set of representatives, and I can get hold of them almost any time. Their staffers are great, but meeting them on their turf, outside of Alaska is huge for us. So I think, being able to have that experience, talking to those people one-on-one, it's invaluable.
It's such a, it's almost like a larger than life experience, walking the halls of Congress, literally, and meeting all these people. I just don't know that they get much exposure to planners or planning. So it's a great interaction to have on a completely new level especially if your job is something that's completely unrelated to anything on a federal level.
Well, it's pretty exciting because you hear all your life about, well, on the Hill, this and that, and it's on TV every day. And, do you ever think that you would ever have the opportunity to actually participate and be one of those lobbyists on the Hill to talk about things that you're interested in? But, actually you're meeting with your representatives, so you have a lot of things in common that you can talk about, and you can relate it to the communities where you live or where you might be a planner. And then there's this wonderful briefing that you get where you actually find out what are the current legislative issues, what are the votes, what are some of the strategies. And so you're very well prepared, but it's also, a little bit of a challenge, but it's fun in a good way. So yes, I've really enjoyed it. It's been a great experience.
Planners Day on the Hill is one of the best opportunities for planners to actually talk to their congressional folks, some of whom they know personally, some of whom they went to high school with. But when I come here to see my congressman, who I did go to high school with, I can sit there in their office and it's a whole different atmosphere. And I can tell the story of planning, and it's more real to them. And it's a great opportunity for planning to be at the national level and to bring those messages back down to communities where we live and breathe every day and night.
Well, I like coming to Planners Day on the Hill because it gives me the opportunity to share the perspective of planners and the planning profession on important issues of the day. But equally important, I get to hear what the perspectives are of the representatives and senators with whom I meet. And some of those are not of my political stripe. And so it just helps me understand where they're coming from and why they're cautious or skeptical or curious about a program that I may be advocating for. And then it also gives me a chance to thank the representatives and senators who support planning programs and good planning, and I think they like to hear that as well. So it just gives you better insights into the mindset of Congress and what they're up against when it comes to the challenge of funding and developing programs that are good for America.